Who's Out on 97.3 ESPN FM, South Jersey's football station.
All right, it's Who's In, Who's Out, the Sports Bash, 97.3 ESPN. Mike and John, we're live at the Golden Nugget in Atlantic City. Who's in, who's out of the NFL playoffs? We got one team in.
Carolina's in.
The Carolina Panthers. But who are the other 11? Let's find out. It's been wild. We got crazy scenarios. New England in the East, after 2 losses, they still have a 3-game lead. They're good.
Yeah, they're fine. Just a matter of do they get a week 1 bye, but remember, Denver and Cincinnati still have to play each other, so if the Patriots do win out, they'll still get that first weekend off.
In the North, the Bengals.
Best team in football. Been saying it for weeks and weeks and weeks. First playoff game is going to be a real struggle, though, because of the history. No matter who they're playing against, bye or not, ton of pressure on that team.
I think there's a better team in football, but just my opinion. I've been saying that for weeks. In the South, I still have Houston. I thought Indianapolis.
Still have Indianapolis.
Was
they both lost, obviously.
Yeah.
That's the AFC's version of the NFC's. 6-6 teams. My thought process has been the same. Until the Colts lose a division game, they're the champions. And they're playing Jacksonville this week, so they'll have an opportunity. But I'm sticking with the Colts, even though they'll probably be down to Charlie Whitehurst at quarterback.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem. And Houston, I think it's just a better defensive team at this stage of the year.
They certainly are.
Yeah, at this stage of the year, I'll go defense for them. And by the way, Houston down the stretch. I mean, they're playing New England this week. You would have bet on a game that's straight up winner. New England is not losing 3 in a row. It's not happening. But then they play the Colts, the Titans, and the Jags.
So it's going to be the AFC South games that determine it, and it's going to be a bad football team getting into the postseason. Half dozen, Colts to me, until they lose that division game, you have to go with them. And the AFC West, the bigger story is, Mike, Brock Osweiler keeps winning football games. You're not going to take him out of the lineup. Have we seen the last of Peyton Manning?
Interesting. That story is there's been some reports that they've already made the decision, and they said they didn't. I don't know if he doesn't lose, how you can go back to him.
Either way, they're winning the division again in the AFC West, which sets up for the wild cards. I think Kansas City is a fait accompli, 6 in a row. That's a very good team. They're going to get one of those spots. The second one, much more difficult. Pittsburgh has a really, really tough schedule down the stretch, but I still got to pick Big Ben over Ryan Fitzpatrick or any other of the options for that second wild card spot.
Denver in the West, and Pittsburgh, Kansas City.
Same. I just have Kansas City a tick above Pittsburgh in that 5 seed.
Yeah, I mean, Pittsburgh's receivers right now are a handful to deal with.
Always are. That's not their issues. Their issues, not your father Steelers, on the defensive side of the football. Completely revamp that team. All offense, no defense.
All right, let's go to the NFC side. I've got the Cardinals in the West.
Yeah, the Cardinals are to be the most talented team on the NFC side, and they're running away with the West. Carolina
Panthers has already won. They're already in.
Haven't lost in a calendar year. The Rodney Dangerfield of football, they get no respect.
For me, they do. They're the best team in the league.
Except for Mike Gill.
Minnesota in the North.
I'm going Packers. Vikings lose every time they're in a big spot in a nationally televised game. They did it again. Laid an egg against Seattle last week at home. But the bigger issue isn't the loss. They lost Harrison Smith, Anthony Barr, Linval Joseph didn't play in that game. Their 3 best defenders playing at all-pro level. They're in trouble.
Yeah, they played poorly last week, too. And the Packers got that nonsense win the other night. That could propel them.
That will propel them. The Green Bay Packers win the North.
All right, in the East, I left it blank because I don't know that anyone officially should be listed.
I also left it blank. Do we have to pick somebody?
I really don't think you can make a educated pick of who this is going to be. There's no rhyme or reason.
No, they're all awful teams. You think about the Eagles, and I am picking the Eagles to win the division. Think about what it took for them to win that game. 2 special teams touchdowns, a defensive touchdown, and still Tom Brady had the ball with a chance to tie it late, even though the defense played pretty well. DeMarco Murray off the reservation. We've talked about it in the past with Malcolm Jenkins. Every week there's something going on in that locker room, but they're the best of a bad lot.
Well, and look, this is the NFC East. It's not a secret. It's not a very good division. But quite frankly, the entire conference is not very good. Other than the Carolina Panthers and the Arizona Cardinals, there's not a good team in this conference. There's a team in the NFC East that could still be a wild card team.
Yeah, I don't think that's not going to happen by any stretch of the imagination.
John, we said it the other day. I said it last week. An NFC East team that pulls off an upset will be the team that wins the division, and the Eagles were able to do that. I don't see any other of these teams pulling off the upset. There was a team that got upset, and that's why they will not win it. It will be Philadelphia limping in.
I agree.
At 6-10 or 7-9.
Beep, beep, because that's where they're getting in the playoffs.
The wild cards are, survey.
Still Minnesota, enough left in the bank, although they'll be the 6th seed now, and the Seattle Seahawks are coming. That's not as impressive, as I said, as a win, as it looks like on paper, because of the players missing from Minnesota. But still, the Seahawks are going in the right direction, and they'll be the 5 seed on the NFC side.
And the second one is?
Minnesota.
So it's Minnesota and who?
Seattle.
Seattle. Okay, I didn't hear you say that.
Minnesota 6th seed.
I've got Seattle and Green Bay.
So you have the Vikings winning the North.
Correct.
Keep an eye on Tampa Bay.
Yes.
6-6 and coming. If the Seahawks or the Vikings continue, remember the Vikings play at Arizona. They're going to get waxed again on Thursday night. And all of a sudden, they could be coming back to the pack.
I agree with you. Tampa Bay's got a shot. Atlanta, I mean, they've been bad since the first week of the season. I don't know how
I don't think anybody has a shot besides Tampa. But
No.
I think they're legitimately going in the right direction.
It's Seattle 7-5, Atlanta 6-6, Tampa 6-6, Chicago 5-7. The Eagles, Giants, and Redskins all 5-7. They are all in play for wild card spots. The Rams are now 4-8. What a disaster that has been. They fired their offensive coordinator yesterday. Is it the second time this year?
On Black Monday. Yes, it was.
All right, so that's who's in and who's out for week number 13. And I'll tell you, it could change a lot by next week. We're going to see more crazy games this week.